Hello and welcome back to the One Prime reviews. Today we will be looking at Voyager Reactivate Optimus Prime. So this is part of the 2-pack that comes with Soundwave. These should be rolling out to your local toy stores. I got mine here at GameStop up in Canada. So we'll be going through just a general overview review of the Voyager Optimus Prime from the upcoming Reactivate video game. I was hoping that this figure would come solo at some point, but there was no indication if Hasbro would be doing so. And I was actually anticipating to get this early 2024, but I did see it at our local GameStop, so I decided to pick it up and see what the figure is like. So this is the vehicle mode. It does come packaged in robot mode, but for the purposes of review, I'll be going from alt to robot. Overall, it is a G1-esque Optimus Prime with some updated features, of course. It does also have kind of a Cybertronian kind of look to it with its sharp edges. So here is the front. You can clearly see the generic flat end nose for Optimus Prime, but in terms of the bumper, kind of have like a plow effect with spikes, which is very, very nice. There is some paint details indicating kind of scuff, in terms of battle or wear and tear. So there is kind of some dark gray or metallic gunmetal paint apps to the bumper of the cab. So this is the side view. It's fairly clean. Underneath you have your standard kind of kibble. They try and cover all the hollow spots as much as possible, but in the legs you do see that there are some hollow points. The back of the cab is quite clean. Normally you would see the feet of Optimus Prime towards the back end of the cab, but these parts here are actually the feet of Prime, and there are some nice detailing here on the back. You have some, well, I believe these are like thruster packs. Could be wrong. There's some detailing here on the back of the cab itself, so it is quite nice. And again, this is the would be left side of the cab. So overall, it is quite clean. The top of the cab is there is a gaping hole. I don't believe I mistransformed it. So that is kind of odd to see. I don't know if there's a flap that I missed. Perhaps there is. I will have to double check when we get this guy into robot mode. I believe there's a flap here that comes out that should cover this. So this might be a mistake on my end, but I'll verify that as we go. The figure does come with 2 accessories. He comes with his classic iron rifle, and he does come with an Energon axe, which I don't think we've seen on any recent figures of Prime, not that I can recall, but there are, as a good paint apps to it. There is like a translucent kind of yellow plastic, which shines through. I don't know if you can see the shadow of the axe, but in the background you can see it shining through the plastic. There are painted black details on the axe itself. And then at the base of the axe, it looks like it's just painted a nice kind of matte black paint. The Ion Blaster, classic kind of format, long rifle. They could have done some paint apps here. Usually this portion of the Ion Blaster is, painted in silver, but overall it looks very nice. In vehicle mode, it does run quite smoothly, so no issues there. There's a lot of clearance in terms of, the kibble underneath, so it is very nice. So we'll go ahead and get this guy transformed. We'll start with the front of the cab. So what we will do is untab the top. So there are connectors here that you can loosen up the front of the cab, or rather we'll get the grill portion out first. So there are two tabs here that lock into place. We can kind of just shimmy them out, and we will want to flip this up, and the side of the cab, you will have these two flaps that you will want to fold in at the hinge, just like so, and we'll want to then fold it or collapse it into the top of what would be the chest. I did forget to mention that in vehicle mode you can see the matrix chamber, and we'll open that up when we complete the robot mode. So we'll now pull out the arms. This portion of the transformation kind of reminds me, if you're familiar with Classics Prime. So we'll just release these tabs here, kind of jiggle our way out here. So you'll want to loosen it from a tab that pegs in into the port here. So we'll do the one side and kind of pull out the arm. And here we can we'll want to extend the arm and pull it to the side. So let's go ahead and do the other, or rather we'll complete the arm here. So what you want to do, you want to rotate the bicep 180, and here you'll just, similar to Classics Prime, just fold in the forearm pieces. So fold one and then fold another, and it will collapse it nicely for the forearm. So that's how that one arm will look like. And we'll go ahead and repeat it on the other side. And to just confirm, once we shimmy the other arm out, I only transformed this once, so out of the package it went straight to vehicle mode prior to our review. There you go. Pull it out. So yes, sorry, I did forget to take this flap out, so the top of the cab wouldn't have had that gaping hole. So ideally, it's quite tight on mine. It would have been flush like that. So that was a mistake on my end. But and going into vehicle or vehicle to robot, you would have to have folded that down. So we'll finish off the other arm, pulling it out, rotating the arm, extending it out to the side, rotate the bicep 180, and begin to fold the outer arm into itself. So there you have both of Prime's arms completed. Next is we're going to fill in the torso with the front of Prime's cab here. So what you want to do is split the bumper in half, and starting on the left hand side, you'll want to turn. Now you want, sorry, just so you can see here, you'll want to turn the wheel into the body, and you want to clear this plastic piece. And when you do that, you'll go ahead and fold the other half of the bumper to the side, and you'll repeat it on the opposite. So again, fold this into the body of Prime and push in the other half of the bumper. Next, you will want to pull up the torso. So going from this position, you're gonna, on the hinge inside, bring it up. You will want to quickly pull this abdomen piece down to provide some clearance for the chest. You'll want to then bring the chest piece down and put the abdomen back into place. Here we can then pull up the head, and it will tab in. There is a section here. This portion will tab in just underneath the middle part here, and you'll hear a click. So as we get them situated, we can go ahead and get the top of Prime in place. Next, we'll work on the legs. So you'll want to remove these would normally be the gas caskets. You'll go ahead and unpeg them from these ports. Bring this piece upward. So from this hinge, you'll want to bring it up. Or rather, before you do that, you'll want to fold this down. And you'll want to, as you bring the back portion up, you're going to want to collapse these pieces inward, and you're going to hinge it up, and from the back, to form the backpack, you will have these ports. So this peg here will plug in to this port here, providing a snug connection. So as you line it up, you'll plug those into place, and this final portion, you're going to fold it upward, tabbing in this section here into this port. So tab, and it will form somewhat of a backpack on Prime. although it doesn't stick out so much. It does clean up quite nicely. And these are the little jetpack or thruster packs that I was referring to. It would have been nice if those were the intent, to kind of add some paint applications there, but otherwise it turned out quite nicely regardless. So we're in the final stretch here. We're just going to form the legs. So you're going to split the legs in half, and to just flip it around, you're going to take these panels, fold them outward on both sides, and you're going to want to provide a little bit of clearance for the foot. So as you detach the foot here, and to give you that clearance, you're going to hinge the lower leg down. And you also want to pull this gray piece out, which would form the kneecap. And you're going to push it in and peg the leg in place, or to lock it in place. You'll then want to fold that panel back in and fold the feet out. We'll go ahead and do the same for the other leg. So we'll provide that clearance. Make sure you pull out the little gray piece here and extend and have this peg plug into that port. You want to hear that click to lock it in place. Fold that in and fix the foot. And there you have Optimus Prime in robot mode. And he looks very beefy. So let's adjust the camera here. So this is Optimus Prime in robot mode. To get a look at his head sculpt. Oops. It's a very nice head sculpt. His mask kind of resembles what it would have been in the Bumblebee movies. It's quite pointed out and round, but it is a very nice Prime head. He does scale quite tall for Voyager, or compared to Voyagers we have nowadays. He does have a good heft to him, but in terms of articulation, his head can go up about that high. He can look up that much. He can look down, not too far down. Go ahead and focus here. There you are. That's as far as he can look down, and again, that's as far as he can look up. So I will just adjust our camera for a quick second. Anyway, refocus. Yeah, so for articulation, Prime can, for the head, do a full 360 as well. For the arms, it can go out this far. He does have a bicep swivel. The joints on mine are really tight. It does feel like the plastic is really rubbing against each other. There's no squeaking, but it is tight. For the elbow, you'd go about 90 degrees, a little bit more, not too much. No ab crunch, but he does have a waist swivel. It does get hindered by the gas or the grills on the side of the vehicle mode. Otherwise, you are able to do full on, but you will need to untab to do so. For the leg articulation, he has a thigh swivel. He can kick about that far up, so a little bit more than 90. You can kick to the side. You can do a full splits. Knee bend is quite nice, can go quite far beyond 90 degrees. And in terms of ankles and foot articulation, he does only have ankle pivots. He is unable to kick forward and back due to transformation. So really only a really deep ankle pivot. So we can go ahead and armor him up. We can plug in his rifle. Does hold it quite nicely. The axe is a bit weird. It pegs in, so it does have a peg which will go into his hand, but it goes sideways. So you will need to turn his fist to have it displayed or shown properly without showing the fist. But obviously once you get into different angles, the fist does become visible, and it does kind of look like an eyesore. So it is quite odd that they did it in this fashion. They could have done it MP10 style where they just covers the fist, but yeah, they decided to go this method. Otherwise, in certain angles, it's not too noticeable, and yeah, you'll be able to utilize the axe properly. Blast effects can plug into the blaster, so if you have either like a siege, jetfire, or any of the, I believe, commander classes, you should be able to plug them in to the tip of the rifle. So that is Reactivate Optimus Prime. Overall, it's very nice. It's a different look to him, while in keeping his G1 look. But the paint apps could be more. You could add a little bit of silver to the legs. The gray plastic around the crotch piece does look a bit cheap, in my opinion. To break up this really dull gray plastic, some paint apps would have been great here to have it pop a little bit more. I haven't seen the gameplay for the Reactivate game, so I don't know if there are any paint apps visible on him there, but overall that could have done some work. The silver paint is quite nice all across the body, his face, the smokestacks, some accents on his forearms. The paint did come out quite nicely for what they did cover. So, but yeah, that is Reactivate Optimus Prime. I hope you enjoyed this review. If there's anything else you would like me to cover, definitely let me know. Feel free to subscribe, hit the bell for any alerts, for any upcoming videos that I post. Your viewership would be definitely appreciated. So thank you, and happy hunting for this guy. Cheers.